All right. We have something different today. This is a St Penpps Montefiore. Nib's got some crud in it. There we go. This, I have a note here somewhere. There is a pen company Bellumer 320 Chrome. That's what this looks like. And the similarities are uncanny. But this is a fountain pen. As far as I know, this Bellumer is a ballpoint. Anyway, I believe this has a fine steel nib. I bought this pen off of Etsy. It came up the other day. Blah, blah, blah. Long story short, it arrived with a spare nib. And the nib it arrived with is different from this nib. I think the one it arrived with was a extra fine nib. And this is a second Moonman nib that came with it. Which I swapped out happily. What should we say about this pen? Let's see how it... It's not a stub. I'm adding a little pressure and the prongs separate. So our ink today is the electric magenta we previously mixed. And I think it is a lovely shade, vibrant. And it has some shading, at least through a stub nib, and a little of that you can pick up here. Anyway, it's all metal, it's chrome. Let's take a closer look at that nib. This is the one that was a spare nib that it was included alongside of it. Let me fish out the other one. No. Yep, here we go. This is the one that came installed on the pen. And quite nice. This is a cartridge converter pen. Plastic looking feed, typical. I think even some of my high-end pens have plastic feeds these days. Some of my vintage ones will have ebonite still, but seems like Ebonite is probably far more expensive to produce than these plastic ones. It is what it is. I don't really care. So, what do I like about this pen? I like its weight. I like the rubber rings. These rings are grippy and they're rubber. I don't really hold the pen here, but whatever. I like the classic cigar shape. I like how this nib flexes. This ink really is a pretty color. It writes smooth. It's a little fingerprinty because it's such a glossy finish. I don't care that it's fingerprinty. I would expect any pen to be fingerprinty. It has a polished finish like this. One thing I will call out is this can unscrew fairly easily. I think that could be pretty easily solved by just putting a rubber washer down here somewhere. Will I do that? No, because it's not a big enough issue for me to care. But it does sometimes happen while fidgeting with this. As you can see there, it didn't. I don't know how much I paid for this. It wasn't much. I should probably be able to tell you that, shouldn't I? Am I going to look it up? No. Well, now I'm curious. Hold on. Okay. Looks like it was $25. The nib it came with was fine. This is another fine. I don't know what the difference between the two nibs are yet. I haven't used either of them much. This is more writing than I've done with this pen up until this point, so at some point I will have the time to really play. This came from the Chinese pen shop on Etsy. That's the one that Bobby of Bobby Nibs fame owns. I think they have a fantastic shop if you are into these pens. It's a really good resource to be aware of. If I think of it, I'll drop a link to their shop in the description of this video. I do a lot of shopping through them specifically because they provide good support. The prices are all right. The custom ground nibs are awesome. And they're always very responsive. This stuff arrives relatively quickly. And what else can you ask for? They have some stuff there that I can't find anywhere else. And that's cool. What else can we really say about this pen that is potentially impactful? It does come in two different colors. I don't remember what the other one looked like. I got this one because, like a crow, I'm drawn to shiny things. This is my first pen sold as a St Penpps PPS. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. But I will definitely be back for more, I think. This pen, and I don't mean to dump on Lamy all the time, this pen out of the box is writing substantially better than my Lamy knockoff pen or my Lamy All-Star, AL Star. the Al Bundy of pens. I've had horrible problems with Lamy nibs, and I just wish out of the box any of the 4 of them worked as well as this pen and this nib work. And considering I spent $25 for this, and that AL Star was a $40-something pen, really makes me wonder, what are we spending our money on? I don't know. Take a closer look at that nib again. So, this is a Moonman nib. This other pen here is a New Moon 3. Now, of course, it's a very different sized nib. I think this is, what, a number 5? I don't know what this is. I'm not good with that. But this nib is not the most pleasant to write with. This is a very utilitarian pen, and it's fine. And I think if I used pocket pens quite a lot, I would really enjoy this pen, but it's just too physically small for my hands. And meanwhile, like, there's this distinction of like Moonman and Majohn, and I'm not really sure what the distinction is when I have some pens that were originally sold as Moonman pens, and are now sold as Majohn pens. So is it the same entity? I don't know. The same entity, I mean business. I don't know. Somehow I don't think it is, but what do I know? I'm not a subject matter expert. I don't know what I'm talking about. So it's kind of like Junlai and Wingsung. So this, for example. Oh, here we go. This is a Majohn P136, but let's take a closer look at that cap ring. Moonman. It's like Bowie should have done a follow-up on Ziggy Stardust. This is a Junlai 630, so is this. But these were sold originally as Wingsung 630, and there's probably about 2 years of content on YouTube of people praising this pen. Now, some people on some of these forums will say, well, Junlai was manufacturing the Wingsung 630 and 930 as a licensing agreement. And despite owning several of those pens in a 930, this Wingsung is the only pen that I own with the Wingsung branding on it. And this $2 knockoff of the Lamy Safari is, for whatever reason, a better writer than my Safari. Now, my Safari is a pen that is so rage-inducing that it's going to wind up in the blender. Maybe I'll eBay it. eBay or Blender? Which one is going to be more rewarding? I don't know. But this one's probably going to wind up on eBay because I have a bunch of low-end pens that rate about equivalently to this. This pen, this Montefiore, is a keeper. I'm going to be keeping this one. Has a nice weight. I like writing with it. I like the flex of this nib. I haven't even played with the other nib yet. And I don't know. Do I think you should buy this pen? I'm a stranger on the internet. You shouldn't listen to me. You shouldn't care what I think. You're going to do whatever you want to do, and that's the way it should be. But if you're looking to drop 25 bucks, there's worse ways to spend it. What are some other things that cost $25? Well, recently we had pizza the other day. Typical New York Neapolitan pizza. And that was less than $25. I had sushi the other day, but that cost more than $25. And so there you have it. It's somewhere between pizza and sushi. Anyway, that's it. St Penpps Montefiore. Fun pen.